Hello and welcome to this special presentation on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. Ladies and gentlemen, most of us have, many a times wondered how the wheels within wheels in a government functions. How do they formulate these policies that impact all of us? And, most of it only is largely seen at a distance behind a very thick wall of bureaucracy. We don't know what goes into making the policies that have an impact on all of us. But there is this book which has now come out, The Delhi Model, which is written by an insider. Jasmine Shah, I would like to introduce him as, a policy man, a politician, and now a writer. But he has given us an inside view, a 360-degree view of what happened and how the Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital in the last 10 years, some of their banner headline policies, how they have come into existence. We'll talk in depth about this book also and the impact of this book and also, of course, the current political scenario. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us. As I said, from a policy guy to a politician and to a writer, you've been donning a lot of hats. But my first question to you, you are an insider after all, and you are a member of the Aam Aadmi Party. So when you write a book called The Delhi Model with Arvind Kejriwal, at the forefront, at the book cover, why should people take this seriously? This will be seen as Jasmine just doing let's say, a fluff piece on the government of Delhi. What makes this a serious study?
Thank you, Ankit, for having me on this show. And thanks for starting with a yorker and not with a full toss. There are many, I think, people who know about me, people who know about my background. I have spent close to a decade and a half in the development sector. I started my journey with the Delhi government first as an advisor to Mr. Sisodia, have headed the policy think tank of the AAP government in Delhi for close to 6 years, worked with the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal ji and all the ministers. And yes, I'm a member of AAP, but I think the content is what I will eventually hope people will form their opinion about and not the writer. And there are many examples. People like Shashi Tharoor are very renowned writers, right? But he's a politician as well, right? So you judge a book by not its cover, as I say, and by what's in it. And so far, the response that I have received, and people like Mr. Raghuram Rajan.
Yes, I was seeing that right at the top of the book.
Justice
he's
Madan
written some
Loko.
glowing praises about your book.
No, and I feel it is a story because there are some, I think there are two dimensions to telling a story of a state-led governance model. You can do it from the outside, but yes, governments tend to be opaque. And what I have tried to do is actually unpack, put it, and I believe it takes courage for somebody from the inside also to tell the story of what really happened. When this party came with an unprecedented mandate in 2015, and with this promise of Vyavastha Parivartan, this idea that we are going to transform governance as it is known in India, and what really happened, where were the challenges. And I have tried this to be a completely policy-focused book. It is full of facts and grounded in reality.
Yes.
Everything has been cited. So I would like the readers to form an opinion after reading the book. You can disagree with some parts of it. Maybe it doesn't meet your ideology. But I have attempted to tell the truth of what's really transpired.
Yeah, because, the story of this book, and it's summarized in 8 chapters, apart from talking about the model, in the end, like Jasmine was saying, the opposition and the kind of opposition that they faced, he also talks about, it's a very interesting chapter, I'll come to that as well, where you're talking about, how the challenges, political challenges the Aam Aadmi Party and the country is also facing at this moment, including the incarceration of Arvind Kejriwal, the use of agencies, so on and so forth. But Jasmine, let me start by asking you this. What is it, in the first chapter I was reading, and there are some jargons people would think, ये सब economics वाले लोग लिख देते हैं, हमें समझ में नहीं आता है. So far in India, there was one party which has been able to utilize this whole coinage of the model term. Gujarat model was the only model people knew. Prime Minister rode to power in 2014 saying, look, I have made a successful Gujarat model. I'm going to replicate that in the country as well. अब गुजरात मॉडल सुना था तो ये दिल्ली मॉडल क्या है?
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned it because I have an entire chapter dedicated to comparing the Gujarat and the Delhi model. And I believe in India today, these are the two fundamental choices that the voters need to choose between. Do they want to go down the path of Gujarat model? And I talk about it, which is largely about, focusing on just one indicator, which is the GDP of your state. And you do that by giving large giveaways and tax cuts to all the industrialists, right? You give land for free, you give low interest loans, you sales tax maaf, ye maaf, wo maaf. And what happens as a result of that, that the state has very little money to actually invest on the health and education of your population. Today, Gujarat, and by the way, Gujarat model is being implemented for the last 30 years, since 90s it's been implemented. Today, Gujarat has 40% malnourishment rate, which is second worst in the entire country. The amount of money that Gujarat spends on the state of Gujarat on health and education is one of the lowest in the country. In education, you will see there are 19,000 teacher vacancies. You will see 3 out of 4 children in Gujarat at standard 5 cannot read a simple text. So on all these parameters, now this is not just health and education. If you look at the Aam Aadmi, it's not that the economic prosperity, which let's say big industrialists have seen in Gujarat, has come down to the Aam Aadmi. Today, the average rural wage in Gujarat is only 270 rupees. The national average is 350, Kerala has 700. It ranks 19 out of 20 states in average wages of the people. The minimum wages in Gujarat have hardly increased, it's 9,000 rupees or so. When you compare that, okay, what is so different about Delhi? Delhi proudly proclaims a model where we are actually investing in our human capital. Our priority is, yes, everybody wants the economy to grow, everybody wants more prosperity, but how will you reach there? Not by just giving tax cuts to the big corporates and hoping that that trickles down to the masses. In our model, we are saying that you need to invest in your people first. That is the longest term investment. Invest in their health, invest in their education, and Delhi has shown that it actually works for the economy.
So you are basically trying to, through this book, you are trying to, in fact, reveal to the people an alternative vision of governance.
Yes.
So there is a comparison that you have made with the Gujarat model, Prime Minister's famed Gujarat model, and what Arvind Kejriwal and your team has been able to do in Delhi. You're basically saying that we have a better model of working human. We are investing in human resources more than industries and so on and so forth. The argument then would also be, Jasmine, that Delhi is a very small state. So maybe what you are saying works in a small state like Delhi. Can this be replicated in other states of the country? And I'm specifically asking this because you have government in another state like Punjab. And there have been challenges. Many of these schemes are yet to see the light of the day in a state like Punjab, where you have full governance as well. There is no, larger bureaucratic problems that you face in the national capital.
True.
If this model is scalable, then why not has this been so successfully implemented in Punjab?
It's a very good question. The short answer to this is absolutely yes. What we have done in Delhi is something which increasingly, if you see around the world, economists talk about this. They say that unless and until governments are going to start focusing on matters like health, education, minimum wages, basic infrastructure like electricity, water, these are the determinants of your quality of life. And what I've done in this book is that I've also taken the principles and the lessons of the Delhi model to provide a roadmap. If you see, the subtitle of this book is A Bold New Roadmap to Building a Developed India. The case I'm making there is that maybe the exact formulation of policy will change in different states. Obviously, India is a land of diversity, but the fundamentals and the principles of the governance model is applicable everywhere. In Punjab, let me tell you, we are very proud that we have actually started putting this model in motion. See, in Delhi today, it's taken us 10 years to be able to step back and say that there is a larger model of governance at play which we have never seen.
Right.
In Punjab, for the first time, we have seen, mohalla clinics. There are 850 mohalla clinics in Punjab today, which is more than Delhi. We've started investing in our government schools. 24/7 electricity, even Punjab is now moving towards it.
Okay.
We are seeing free electricity there. So it will take time. It is a large state. I'm not saying that within 2 years we will replicate everything that we have seen, but I am actually hopeful because of the kind of, the fact that we don't have any obstacles like we have in Delhi. Maybe Punjab will see that kind of a transformation in 5 years, what we have seen in Delhi in 10 years.
What I'll do now, I'll go chapter by chapter because you have spoken about education, health, pollution, transport, electricity and water in this. I'll give you a couple of minutes to speak about what you have said in this book, what the model is, and then I'll ask you a counter question which the opposition has been raising, punching holes in what
Sure.
Aam Aadmi Party has done. Let's start with education, which and the chapter says that it was a impossible mission transforming the education model, and Arvind Kejriwal's entire model of governance, which was massively highlighted, was based on education and health. Manish Sisodia became the face of that. You worked very closely with him in that model as well. What were the challenges and what are the changes that you've been able to implement?
So, for us, the Aam Aadmi Party government, education was an article of faith. That as a government, the day we were voted in power, here was the Chief Minister and the entire cabinet that said that we will first put whatever money is required to transform our government school system. And the point I make repeatedly is that our attempt was not कि कुछ school को चमका के दिखा देना कि नहीं. Our idea was that each and every child who goes to Delhi government school should get a basic benchmark quality of education. So all the reforms were attempted at a government-wide school system reform. For the last 10 years, we are the only government in the history of India to spend close to 25% of our budget in education. Nobody has done that. What have we done? We've completely transformed our infrastructure. We have given world-class training to all our teachers and principals. Today, ours is the only government school system that sends our teachers. सरकारी स्कूल के टीचर को हम सिंगापुर भेजते हैं ट्रीटमेंट ये इसके लिए ट्रेनिंग के लिए. Principals are sent to Cambridge and to Finland for training. We have empowered parents. Today they are part of school management committees which are given a budget to actually run in a decentralized manner government schools, and that's how the teachers and the administration become responsive. And finally, we have brought out a lot of curricular reforms that have actually improved the quality of education. What is the mark of success, you asked? For the last 10 years, Delhi's government schools have been beating the private schools in class 12 board results. Both of them are in CBSE board. Our government school system last year sent around 500 students to IIT JEE. These many students have cleared IIT JEE main examinations, 1500 NEET examination. And the final thing, we've set up this completely next generation board of school education. We have around 55 schools affiliated to it. We call it Ambedkar Schools of Specialized Excellence. You'll not believe the kind of a rush that we are seeing for admissions in this system. For 6,000 seats in 2024 in this Ambedkar schools, we saw 1,44,000 applications.
But, Jasmine, on the same hand, people, and especially your opposition, keep saying that Delhi is also failing a record number of students when it comes to class, from 9th to 10th or 11th to 12th. You are also falling into the trap of just a number, 96.8% students are passing as far as the 12th examination is concerned. They are also saying that the way you audit your newly built schools, classrooms, teachers' rooms, even toilets are being counted as classrooms. How do you respond to all these allegations that the opposition makes on you?
See, this one particular allegation that a lot of children are failing in class 9, and I have actually addressed this in the book, because yes, there is a fact that more students than what we would like are failing at class 9. Now there's a reason behind this. For close to 10 years, India has been, under the RT Act, there's a no detention policy, which means that unless the child goes up to class 8, there is no examination to check whether the teachers have successfully taught the child or not.
Yes.
Last year, for the first time, and after fighting tooth and nail with the center, we removed the no detention policy. Not because we want to fail children, because the entire school system has an accountability that
Center
the child
has also done that now.
Now they have done it.
Yeah.
And it took us years. I'm saying we started fighting with the center on this, that this is unfair to the child. You're not giving them any feedback signal that you are. So, there are some of these systemic flaws. But if you look at the larger picture, and today, I mean, the fact that so many of our kids are passing IIT examination, NEET examination on almost all other markers. Again, one of the cases that I consistently make is that, we have not achieved all that we have had to.
Yes.
I'm being very humble that yes, there are areas where the model will need to perform more. That's why, we would also want to come back to power.
Right.
But if you look at where things were in 2015 and where we are today, that is the story of transformation that I tell.
I think that's why Jasmine also has given his government so far 7.5 is not just 10 on 10. So there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. But Jasmine, coming to health, you call Mohalla clinics the ATM of primary health care. This has also been a very controversial, in fact, topic as far as healthcare is concerned. BJP today we are in the heat of the election, pre-election campaign. They will still take you to 20 mohalla health clinics and say, look, they are not working. Questions have been raised about why you are not implementing central government schemes. And, there have been questions which have been raised by CAG, the Lieutenant Governor, on the state of the hospitals, including the High Court. So when I read this, it looks like Delhi is going great guns. On the other hand, people have been raising questions about the health model of Delhi.
See, if you go by what BJP says, BJP statement is that Aam Aadmi Party has done nothing good in Delhi and people are stupid to be voting for them. 67 out of 70 seats in 2015 and 62 seats out of 70 in 2020. We all know that the reality is far, far different. And mohalla clinics, I mean, for all the propaganda, that is, part of it is for me to document is that the reality should reach the people. Today, mohalla clinics, every year, there are around 550 mohalla clinics. We see 2 crore outpatient visits to mohalla clinics every year. So, if mohalla clinics चल नहीं रही तो 2 crore लोग क्या कर रहे हैं आके? We give free tests. More than 90 tests are free of cost. More than 165 medicines are free of cost. There is an MBBS doctor that will attend to you. And last point, if mohalla clinics were such a failure, why is it that so many states are now starting to replicate the idea of mohalla clinics? And I mentioned about this. Jharkhand set up Atal Mohalla clinics. Telangana started Basti Dawakhana. Madhya Pradesh started Sanjeevani clinic. Karnataka started Namma clinics. There are other 2-3 examples. All of them after AAP's successful mohalla clinic model, which by the way has been lauded by the World Health Organization and by the United Nations. So, let's put, I think part of what I believe more states to do, and I don't think AAP is the only one that can come with good ideas, is that let all states put forth its governance ideas to the table, bring your data to the table and let people judge. My attempt here is to, because at the end of the day, these ideas should spread. Bhare political party, Aam Aadmi Party har jagah pe aaye na aaye, these are the ideas that have actually transformed the lives of the people of Delhi. Go today to, and we have the confidence. जैसे आप कहते हैं कि अरे सरकारी हॉस्पिटल ये लोग बोलते रहते हैं कि they don't work. Today, I have the confidence.
High Court has also said something like that, you're not been able to run the government hospitals efficiently.
No, High Court has said that enough number of ICU beds are not there. You need to double the number of ICU beds. And I make the case over here that building hospitals it takes time. It consumes many years. And we have managed, in the last 10 years, we have added 40% beds already in Delhi government hospitals. We are taking it 3x in the next 2 years. There are 16,000 beds being added. My point is today, I have the confidence that, for people and viewers who say that Achha, some of this may not be truth, I challenge them, go walk into any mohalla clinic, walk into any government school, any government hospital, and speak to the people there. Ask them, in the last 10 years, have they seen any change? And I challenge you that no BJP in their government would like to make this promise that walk into any government school and ask the teachers and principals ki kya koi badlav aaya hai.
One touchy topic, which you mentioned, a full chapter is dedicated on air pollution.
Yeah.
And I will link water pollution also on that, and specifically speaking about Jamuna. You've spoken about, odd even scheme and stubble burning and so on and so forth. But Jasmine, this is something a lot of people would say, how many years does this government need? If you have such great ideas, you yourself are a policy man, think tank, you've been vice chairperson of the DDC, you have had so much time to think about, formulate, come up with some solutions. Arvind Kejriwal went on to say that if I don't clean the Jamuna by 2025, don't vote for me. That's a very big worry as far as the people in the national capital are concerned. They are worried about their future, they are worried about their children, they are worried about their own health and their parents' health. Do you accept that there has been a failure of the government as far as water and air pollution is concerned?
I don't say that at all. And I will stick my neck out and I'll make a couple of points here. On air pollution, and I think this is where we need to step back and look into the science of the air pollution. It's very easy to say, Arey Arvind Kejriwal ko theek karna hai. Do we know that 42 out of the 50 most polluted cities in the world are in India? All of them are in, by and large, North India. And especially, yes, Delhi and the larger Delhi NCR, as we call it, is the most polluted region. Now, Delhi NCR, Ankit, occupies around 55,000 square kilometers. We are sitting in Noida today, that is as bad as Delhi is. Out of that 55,000 square kilometers, what is the area Delhi occupies, the national capital? Just 3%, which is around 1,500 square kilometers. it doesn't take a genius or a rocket scientist to say that if you want to solve Delhi NCR's problem, this is not Delhi's problem alone, this is the entire region's problem. This entire region of 4 states will need to have a common action plan. Agar Delhi apne thermal power plant band kar raha hai, which we have done by the way, the same should happen in the surrounding region. Has not happened. If Delhi is providing 24/7 electricity so that we don't see diesel generators, the same should happen in the region. Has not happened. If Delhi is inducting 2,000 electric buses, which is the highest in the country and 3rd highest in the world today, then all other cities around Delhi should also be coming with electric mobility. You don't see a single electric bus flying anywhere. So my point is this: at the end of in 10 years, has Delhi achieved something? Actually, the data shows that the average PM 2.5 in the last 10 years, if you look at the 3-year average, has actually reduced by 45%. Has it become great? Absolutely not. Lot of what Delhi had to do has already done. We will keep doing it. But how long until the Prime Minister of India says that I will take accountability because entire North India is polluted? Have you ever heard Prime Minister Modi say a word when it comes to air pollution? He goes into silence. The union government goes into silence. But the BJP spokespersons will come and start blaming Arvind Kejriwal.
But you know, if somebody from Delhi would say that when you made the promise to me, you told me that you are going to give me the solution. I can't expect Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh or Haryana Chief Minister, to give me the solution. I am a citizen of Delhi, a voter of Delhi. I vote for you. Don't give me excuses, give me solution.
Absolutely. And our answer to the voters of Delhi is that whatever the Delhi government can do about the local sources of pollution, by the way, the science shows that only 30% of pollution in Delhi comes from sources within Delhi, 70% comes outside. Hold us accountable for that.
Okay.
Tell us that you should be bringing in more electric buses and faster. By the way, we are at 2,000 electric buses today, we'll be at 8,000 by the end of next year. But the Prime Minister of your country is also your Prime Minister of a voter of Delhi. If there is a breach in defense, you will not hold Arvind Kejriwal, you hold the Prime Minister accountable. The air flows from all directions. It is your right to ask your Prime Minister to please convene a meeting of all the Chief Ministers and make sure there is a binding action plan for the larger region.
Right.
And cities around the world have actually managed to achieve that. Why is India not interested, or the Indian government not interested in solving air pollution?
Sanjeevani and the scheme that you're speaking about, where women will be getting 2,100 rupees if you win. I think this is possibly the only case in the country where a government or a party in governance announces something and their own bureaucrats come out and say, boss, ye to koi scheme hi nahi hai.
You know,
How will people believe you that you would be able to deliver these promises if your own bureaucrats are saying we can't do this?
The people and the voter of Delhi are far too smart. They know that when Arvind Kejriwal ji promised that we will transform our schools, we will give free education, free healthcare, 200 unit muft bijli, free water, free bus yatra, all of that happened. So when the party is in power, it will always do things. Now you look at how ridiculous, I think the bureaucracy and the LG are making a joke out of themselves. As a political party, the Aam Aadmi Party said, we have announced these as our electoral promises. We said कि जब हम चुनाव जीत के आएंगे for the 3rd term, we will implement these ideas. We'll give 2,100 rupees cash to women every month, all women above 18 years. We'll give free healthcare, be it in private or a sarkari facility, to every senior citizen above 60 years. The bureaucrats are coming and saying that nahi, aisi koi scheme lagu nahi hai. We are never even claiming that. This is an attempt by bureaucracy. I mean, I actually, मुझे उनके तरस आता है कि उनके ऊपर इतना pressure. They never thought that they'll join IAS to play these kind of political gimmicks and games. Why? Because उनके जो आका हैं BJP और LG, उनके ऊपर दबाव डाल रहे हैं. It doesn't matter. As I said, today the people of Delhi and the voter of Delhi have faith in Mr. Kejriwal. And if they say कि मैं ये वादा कर रहा हूँ, they know it will be fulfilled.
Where will the money come from? This is the first time in 31 years that the projection is that Delhi in 24-25 financial year is going into a revenue deficit. You already are in revenue deficit. Where will the money come from?
You know, one of the stories that I tell in the book, The Delhi Model, is how is it that this particular government in Delhi has managed to give free electricity, free water, free bus yatra, invested 40% of its budget in healthcare and education so that we can give free services but very high quality services, yet maintain a revenue surplus budget for 10 years, increase its budget. The annual budget of Delhi government has increased by 2.5 times. It was 30,000 crores in 2015, it's 75,000 crores, and reduce its debt to GDP ratio. See, the health of any state government should be measured by the debt you have taken to the GDP. In that terms, Delhi was at 7% in 2015. We are today at 3.9, around 4%.
4%, yeah.
So we have radically outperformed on every single indicator. Even this year, the financial year is not over. There is a lot of activity happening. I am very sure that we will be in revenue surplus even this year. And it is because we have delivered on this governance model. We take pride in the fact that we make sure that every single money of the government first reaches its coffers, there is no leakage, and it is spent efficiently. That is the model by which we will fulfill all our future promises.
So this has been a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let me tell you, this book is out now. You can get your copy as well if you want to read about what the Aam Aadmi Party has done, what has been the thought process behind it, how successful, unsuccessful they have been. That's for our viewers and the voters of Delhi to judge. But do give this a read. That's a Delhi model by Jasmine Shah. Jasmine, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you. My pleasure.